I don't know another place in the whole city of Chicago like this. This next utopia has been defunct for more than a century, but you'd hardly know it. You can still visit the original housing and hotel, remnants of the factory and market, the church and the parks, many of them standing remarkably intact on Chicago's South Side, a living reminder of George Pullman's company town.
It was a model industrial town.
George Pullman built this town for the employees of his Pullman Palace car company. He transformed long-distance train travel by building luxury train cars that pampered passengers with plush upholstery, electric lighting, and state-of-the-art heating and ventilation.
This was sophisticated stuff. The Palace cars were like designing corporate jets today. People wanted the most advanced technology, and they wanted the most style.
To build these high-tech cars, Pullman had to attract the most talented artisans and engineers from around the world. So in 1880, he built a model town south of Chicago that was as innovative and attractive as his rail cars.
It was well landscaped. Everything was within walking distance. They collected the garbage. There were beautiful flowers all over the place.
This was envisioned as an antidote to the crowded slums where most American workers lived. Pullman's solid brick homes featured gas and indoor plumbing. Architect Solon S. Beeman designed English-style row houses for the workers and stately mansions for the residents of Executive Row.
All right, this was a typical parlor in the Executive Row. Front parlor, music room to the rear. There was a formal dining room and a kitchen. On the second floor, there's a master bedroom with a fireplace in it.
Life in Pullman may have seemed ideal, but George Pullman wasn't motivated solely by idealism. Ever the capitalist, he hoped his model town would inspire workers to be sober and loyal to the company, and that it would dissuade them from joining a union.
The idea was that you put people in a good environment, and they're going to be more productive workers and produce better products.
George Pullman stopped at nothing to control the character of his town. He selected the plays that ran in the theater and the books lent by the library. He chose the form of worship at the church and the stores where residents shopped. The only place that served alcohol was the Hotel Florence, but only to visitors, not workers. And the businesses and homes were rented out, not sold. This town was an investment for George Pullman, and he expected a 6% return.
Pullman took stockholders' money, invested it in the town, and they designed it and managed it to produce a profit.
But Pullman ran up against something he couldn't control, the economic depression of 1893. As demand for his rail cars plummeted, he cut workers' wages by 30% without reducing their rent. On May 11, 1894, his workers walked out on strike. Violence erupted, and at least 34 were killed. The strike was eventually broken, but in the aftermath, the Supreme Court ordered the company to sell off the homes, and the company town was no more. You have living quarters around here, and then, what is this, a market hall? Yes. Efforts to restore parts of the town have stalled, but George Pullman's 130-year-old vision of a walkable, mixed-income community is remarkably similar to modern-day notions about urban planning, and it still functions today.
It survives, and it provides a very diverse community. It's as diverse as the city of Chicago.
Residents hope to see Pullman fully restored as a utopia for a whole new urban generation.